behind something. Watch out.
One of the things that I'm telling him is to get on the mic and tell everybody he's got glass jars for these pumps. Where are you going to find them?
Okay.
That's Andy Perillo right there. I'm going to be running the camera here. I got Ray Guarino, Kenny Hammer. Let's get this, Kenny. And there's Ray. And there's Chris. And there's Matt. Where's Matt? There he is. All righty. Okay, now Chris has got some fuel pumps here. Now you'll be able to see this video on MotorMouthRadio.com. But Chris has got some very unique looking equipment sitting here. And what are we looking at first, Chris?
So the first one we have here is a double action fuel pump for a 1949 and 1950 Cadillac. And when I say double action, what I refer to is that it pumps vacuum and it pumps fuel. There's 2 lines in, 2 lines out. Your vacuum side of the pump is going to go to the vacuum wipers, and it's an assist. That way, when you're under power, your windshield wipers aren't going to be moving, halfway.
Us Chevy guys had to suffer with the wipers sticking straight up when we were flooring it on the wet roads.
Yes, that's one of those when I was your age type of stories, right?
Well,
yes.
We did that, yeah.
So what is this that's behind it?
This is actually for a 1929 to 31, I believe, Pierce Arrow or Studebaker.
Wow.
Very nice job on that, by the way. The brass, nice, finished off, not overdone. You know, like the way I would do something, of course, you know.
Very early style Stuart Warner pump.
Yeah, it's done just right. It looks like it's original.
Looks good.
So that's
do you
actually
guys have a collection of these panhead, you know, the straight slot screws?
Yes, yeah.
I have one little box of those of all small sizes, and I cover them.
Yeah, we got bins and bins of them because you get them in whether the pump is missing a few or they're mauled up. We'll put a nice set in. We stock basically any of the parts of these pumps. We have hundreds and thousands of cores, so that if there's a broken glass bowl on a pump, if there's a piece missing, an arm broken,
the glass bowl, Chris.
Yes.
We can not just rebuild what's there. We can actually replace it with better parts.
Zooming in on a bowl.
Right.
Now let's get into the water pump. What is that you got sitting behind there?
This is for a 1939 Oldsmobile. And that's one that we actually convert the early style seal to a modern unitized seal, which I spoke of earlier, which is that one piece.
What's the piece of wire coming through the channel? What's the purpose? It looks like a door clip. We did a whole show on door clips.
I would call it a Jesus clip. Ray would obviously correct me.
So some pumps retain the bearing and shaft assembly based off of just press fit. This one also, and some others, Pontiacs, some Buicks, various years, various applications used clips to also retain, as a safety, to retain that bearing shell in there.
And that's the weep hole below it, I assume.
Let's see that clip again. Very nice. Very cool.
And with the newer bearings that we're using in bearing shells, all of our parts are, thousands to 2000s oversized. So if you're rebuilding an old casting and pressing a new bearing in, new shaft, it's still going to retain a good press fit. So something along the lines of that clip wouldn't necessarily be required at this point.
But it's for originality.
Exactly.
Kenny, what do you got there? I'm going to swoop over to Kenny.
I don't know.
Holy mother of God, what the heck is that?
It's something big. It came out of a jet plane, didn't it?
Look at this. All right, guys, you're gonna have to talk about this.
Come around here, Chris.
You're gonna love this on MotorMouthRadio.com. Take a look at this. Yeah, you're gonna have to get on Chris. Get on that microphone. Now see if I can get you and whatever that is. Go ahead.
So that water pump is off of a 1921 Hudson. It's actually an original brass casting. It's a very early style where it's not even mounted on the front of the motors, which most.
This would be the front of the pump, right?
So
wow.
That's actually the back of the pump.
This is the back. Okay, this is the front.
So this mounts down. What it does
this
is it actually
M22 looking thing here.
The timing cover has an extension off the side. The pump slips into the timing cover and is driven by that gear in the front. And then
Where are you?
On the other end of the pump, it drives the generator down the whole side of the motor, all the way to the back.
And the distributor is driven off of here.
The distributor is also driven off the wall.
Okay.
Yes.
That is just amazing. That's an amazing piece of equipment.
Here. Yep. For draining it down. You also got 2 sets of packing glands, which is another thing. When we service, we use a modern style packing.
It's always good to have 2 sets of packing glands.
Yes.
I never leave without both of my sets. That's for sure. That is just amazing.
Even on some early pumps, as early as this, we convert the pumps to a modern seal as well. This one specific, you wouldn't be able to. The casting doesn't allow for it. There's not enough room to press a seal into it. But something along the lines of, let's say, a 1932 or 1933 Packard Super 8 water pump that has packing. The packing system, it's good. If you have new parts in there and modern packing, it's fine. But we get a lot of requests to convert that to a modern style seal, which it essentially makes the pump maintenance free. We use sealed bearings, so you no longer have to grease it or oil it, and you don't have to tighten up a packing nut.
Excellent.
Very cool.
All right, Cecil, you got enough?
Yes. And that is the end of that.